Blessings, beautiful beings. Thank you so much for joining me today for this Thanksgiving practice. It'll be a longer flow, but you can get some energy out before your big Thanksgiving Day dinner. Um, and yeah, just start your day off well and really kick off this holiday season. For props, if you have some blankets and a bolster and also some blocks, you can go ahead and grab them. If you don't have any of those things, that's perfectly okay. They're not required. But I will meet everyone in a comfortable cross-legged seat. If you'd like, you can grab a blanket or a towel or just anything you have around, and you can throw that down on your mat, and you can come and have a seat on it. This blanket is going to help to raise your hips up a little bit above your knees, so it'll help support your spine and be a little nicer on your joints. All right, so let's go ahead and get settled and get ready for our practice. So you can have your arms anywhere you'd like, hands facing up or down on your thighs. You can soften your gaze or close your eyes if you'd like. And when you're ready, let's just take a moment to focus on our breath. So a nice big inhale and an exhale. You can breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, or out through the nose, whatever feels right to you today. Just really take a moment to be still and to ground, maybe even set an intention about today's practice. Maybe just set an intention for this holiday season and Thanksgiving. Or just anytime you're practicing it, because it may not be in real time. Okay, we'll take one more breath here. And then go ahead and sigh on your exhale, just out through your mouth, letting it all go. If your eyes are closed, you can slowly bat the eyelids open. We're going to start to warm up through the spine a little bit. So we're going to come into a tabletop position. If you'd like, you can leave your blanket underneath your knees if you're on hardwood floors like I am. You can kind of help to cushion them a little bit. But you'll want your knees underneath your hip points and your arms or your wrists underneath your shoulder points. From here, you'll have a nice flat back. Really press the tops of your feet into the mat. And on an inhale, drop the lower ribs, lift the hips, lift the chest, coming into a cow pose. On an exhale, round through the spine, drop the head, tuck the tail, cat pose. Inhale, drop the belly, open the chest, lift the hips, look forward, cat or cow. Exhale, rounding through the spine, dropping the tail, dropping the head, cat. Go ahead and do a few more rounds just on your own breath. You can pause if one pose feels better or feels good at that moment. Just warming up through the spine before our practice. We're going to flow quite a bit. Let's do one more. So inhale, we're going to drop the lower ribs. Open up through the chest, look forward, lift the hips. Exhale, rounding through the spine. And then go ahead and return to a tabletop position. Now from here, we're going to walk our handprints just one handprint in front of where they were, so your hands won't be directly under your shoulders. And then go ahead and tuck your toes. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, lift the knees and hover. Another inhale, and on your next exhale, lift the hips, straighten through the legs, push through the hands, coming into a downward facing dog. Now here you can walk your dog if you'd like, just bending one knee and then straightening. And when you're ready, go ahead and bring that to stillness if you're walking your dog. Really push through the thumb, the pointer finger, and the middle finger. And don't focus so much on if your heels are coming towards the ground. Now after your next exhale, go ahead and look forward, and we're going to make our way to the top of the mat. So you can take little baby steps, you can hop, jump, float. So however you'd like to get there. And then we're going to come into a forward fold. So to start, keep your knees generously bent. You can use blocks here if you have them to bring the floor up to you to straighten your legs a little bit. You should be feeling a nice stretch through your hamstrings. So let's go ahead and inhale, come up halfway with a flat back. And then exhale, go ahead and let it go and breathe. Make sure you're not locking out through your knees at all. And on your next inhale, go ahead and slowly roll all the way up. We're going to come into a mountain pose. So you can lift your shoulders up, back, and down. Make any adjustments that you need to with your clothing. Then we'll come into stillness and just breathe. Really feeling your feet ground into the mat, feeling that earth beneath you. We'll take one more breath here. All right, when you're ready, go ahead and lift your arms all the way up to the ceiling on an inhale. Exhale, float it down, bending at your hips, coming back down into that forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway, flat back. Exhale, forward fold, and breathe. All right, when you're ready, we're going to go ahead and step the right foot back, and then the left foot back. We're going to come into a plank, really push through the heels, push up tall and strong through your shoulders, through your hands. We'll take one more inhale, and on an exhale, lower all the way down to your belly. All right, from here, untuck your toes. Make sure your feet are planted, your tops of your feet are planted firmly into the mat. Hands underneath your shoulders. Inhale, rise up, look forward, coming into a little baby cobra, and hold. Breathe, really push your pelvis into the ground. One more inhale, and on an exhale, lower back down. Now from here, go ahead and tuck your toes under. Push yourself up to all fours. Inhale, we'll look forward. Exhale, lift the knees, hover. Inhale. And exhale, straight through the knees, coming back into that downward facing dog. And we'll just breathe here for a moment. All right, go ahead and firmly root through your left foot. On an inhale, lift the right foot up. You You can bend through the knee coming into and bringing that foot over towards your left side, so coming into a three-legged dog. And on an exhale, go ahead and shift the weight forward, bend the knee in towards the chest, and then we're going to step that right leg in between our hands. Lower your left knee to the ground. You can untuck the toes. Inhale, look forward, lift the chest. And then on an exhale, you may rise up. Now, if you'd like, you can keep your hands here at your waist, or you can reach your arms up to the sky, really sinking in to that knee, coming into a low crescent lunge, and breathe. Make sure your knee is at a 90-degree angle and that it is pointing towards the edge of your mat, towards your pinky toe, so you should be able to look down and see your big toe. One more breath here. Make sure you're not wearing your shoulders as earmuffs, so bring your shoulders down. On your next exhale, go ahead and lower your hands towards the mat. Tuck your left toes under, lift that knee up, and we're going to step our right leg back to meet our left knee, coming into that plank pose again. We'll breathe here for just a moment. If you're shaking, that's okay. We're going to take one more breath. And on your exhale, lower slowly all the way down to your belly. All right, go ahead and untuck your toes. Bring your hands underneath your shoulder. And on your next inhale, push through the hands and rise up. Maybe this time you come up a little higher. If you feel any crunchiness in your back though, go ahead and make sure to lower back down. And breathe. Do one more inhale here. And on an exhale, lower back down. Go ahead and tuck the toes. And you can come up to all fours and then back into downward facing dog. Or this time on an inhale, or go ahead and take an inhale. And on an exhale, push yourself all the way up to a plank. One more inhale. And on an exhale, lift the hips, shift the weight up, back, and down, downward facing dog. And we'll take just a couple breaths here to kind of cool it down. All right, on your next inhale, go ahead and lift that left foot up towards the sky. Bend through the knee and then bring that leg back behind you, coming into a three-legged dog. Exhale, shift the weight forward, bring that knee in towards the chest. Then we're going to step our left foot in between our hands. Lower down onto the right knee, untuck the toes. Inhale, look forward, lift the chest. And exhale, use your torso to rise up. Now again, you can stay here, or if you'd like, you can lift your arms up to the sky, coming into that low crescent lunge, and breathe. Make sure your shoulders aren't coming up towards your ears. On your next exhale, go ahead and lower your hands back down towards the mat. We're going to tuck our toes on our right foot, lift the knee up, and then step our left foot back to meet our right, coming back into a plank pose again. And from here, just breathe. Then go ahead and slowly lower all the way down to the belly. Inhale, rise up into a cobra. We'll stay here for just a couple breaths. On your next exhale, go ahead and lower slowly all the way back down to the mat. We'll tuck our toes. And on your next inhale, go ahead and push up to either a plank or to hands and knees. Then on your exhale, go ahead and shift your weight up, back, and down into a downward facing dog. We'll meet everyone here. We'll just breathe for a moment. On your next inhale, look forward and make your way up to the top of the mat on your exhale. So you can take little baby steps, or you can take one big step, or you can just hop, jump, float, whatever feels good to you. Inhale, come up halfway, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Take just a couple breaths here. On your next exhale, slowly start to rise all the way up. You can rotate your shoulders up, back, and down, adjust your clothing. And then when you're ready, go ahead and come into stillness. You can even close down your eyes, coming back into that mountain pose to reground and to reset before our next flow sequence. So give us time to catch our breath, a little more grounded and stable. On your next inhale, lift your hands up towards the sky. Exhale, float it on down, bending at the waist. Inhale, come up halfway, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. And breathe. Right, on your next inhale, we'll go ahead and step one foot back and then the other, coming into a plank for just a second. Make sure to push through the heels and that your back's in a nice straight line. We'll take one more inhale here and exhale, lower down to the belly. Inhale, push up into a cobra, look forward. We'll take just a couple breaths here. And on your next exhale, go ahead and lower back down to the floor. Inhale, tuck the toes. Exhale, come up to all fours or up to a plank. Take an inhale here, and on your exhale, shift your hips up, back, and down. Downward facing dog. We'll take just a couple breaths here. All right, on your next inhale, make sure your left foot's really ground into the mat. And on an inhale, we're going to lift our right leg up, bending at the knee, bringing that behind our left side, three-legged dog. And on an exhale, we're going to take that bent knee, shift forward, look forward, bringing that knee into our chest, and we're going to step our left foot or our right foot in between our hands. Now with your left foot, step up a little bit and turn the toes out towards the left side of your mat. Inhale, use your torso to rise all the way up. We're going to come into a warrior one, so make any adjustments that you need to. Your hips should be facing the short edge of your mat, a nice bend in your front knee. Again, 90 degrees, and make sure that that knee is pointed out towards your little toe. Now from here, you can stay in the warrior one with your hands at your hips. You can bring your palms to your heart center, or if you'd like, you can lift your arms up towards the ceiling, Just make sure that your shoulders, you're not wearing them as earmuffs. And breathe. Now from here, go ahead and straighten through that front right knee. You're going to lower your left arm down and then reach your right arm up and back. So we're coming into kind of a reverse triangle here. And breathe. Make sure you're not collapsing in your neck. Chest nice and open. You should feel a nice stretch through your chest and belly. One more inhale. And on an exhale, we're going to shift our arms back forward. Shift on that left foot coming into the ball joint. So we're kind of coming into like a lunge. And then lower down, coming into more of a low lunge here. When you're ready, step your right foot back to meet your left, coming back into that plank pose, pushing through the heels. We'll take just a couple breaths here. One more inhale. And on the exhale, lower all the way back down to the floor, onto your belly. Inhale, rise up to cobra. Breathe. And on an exhale, lower back down. Inhale, tuck your toes. Exhale, come up to a plank or to all fours. Take a nice inhale wherever you are. And on an exhale, shift your hips up and back, coming back into our downward facing dog. And again, we'll pause here and just take a few breaths. On your next inhale, make sure your right foot is firmly planted. And then we're going to lift our left foot up towards the ceiling, bending that knee back behind us, coming into that three-legged dog. On your next exhale, go ahead and bend through that knee, shift your weight forward, look forward, bringing that knee towards the chest, and then we're going to step our left foot in between our hands. Go ahead and step your right foot up and make any adjustments that you need before we come into our warrior one. So that should be not quite halfway up, but a little bit and turned out at an angle towards the right end of your mat. When you're ready, power up through your torso and rise up. Again, make any adjustments with your feet that you need to. It helps if your feet aren't if they're on parallel train tracks and not a straight line to keep your balance. Then in this warrior one, your hands can be on your hips, heart center, or you can reach up. Just make sure to keep breathing. We're going to cool it down here in a second, I promise. Right, when you're ready, you can float your arms down if you'd like. You can straighten through that left leg. Then from here, you can lift your left arm up and bring it across the midline. So coming into more of a extend or a reverse triangle. And breathe. On your next inhale, go ahead and bring your arms back down. Let's shift on that right foot. And then we're going to lower down into a lunge. So again, make any adjustments you need. And then we'll step our left foot back to meet our right foot. Coming into another plank, yay! And breathe just for a couple breaths here. One more inhale. And on an exhale, go ahead and lower back down to the floor. That was our last plank, I promise on that. All right, inhale, go ahead and lift up into a cobra. Breathe. And on an exhale, lower back down. When you're ready, tuck your toes. And on your exhale, either come up to a plank or to all fours. Take a nice big inhale here. And then on your exhale, shift your hips up, back, and down into your downward facing dog. And again, we'll breathe here. Take one more breath. You can sigh it out. And when you're ready on your next inhale, we're going to make our way back up to the top of the mat. So you can take your time getting there if you'd like, or you can get there in a hurry, whatever feels good to you today. Listen to your body. Inhale, come up halfway flat back. Exhale, forward fold. We'll just take a couple moments here. You can take any movements that feel good. You might want to kind of rock back and forth. Make sure to just keep on breathing though. And on your next exhale, go ahead and roll all the way up, coming into your mountain pose. Again, you can adjust your clothing. Make sure your shoulders are up, back, and down, chest nice and lifted, feet firmly rooted into the ground. Thumbs facing forward, pinkies back, and breathe. You can close down your eyes if you'd like, or you can leave them open with a softened gaze. Just feel all of that energy that we just worked and moved around in our flow. We're going to start to bring it down a little bit. We've got a couple more poses. We're going to do some balancing, and then we'll bring it down to the floor and kind of cool down a little bit. All right. When you're ready, let's go ahead and bring our feet wide to the mat and bring your hands on your hips. So coming into kind of a super person posture. Inhale, lift your chest up towards the sky, and on an exhale, we're going to shift our hips back, bring your hands down the sides of your legs, and we're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold. So make any adjustments you need. This is another good place where if you'd like blocks to bring the floor up to you, you can grab them and then come up on blocks. Otherwise, if you're able to get your hands to your mat, eventually you want to work to where your hands are in line with the arches of your feet, and then eventually that will set you up to where you can do like a handstand or a headstand pose. So we're going to go ahead and breathe here. We'll take one more inhale, and on an exhale, go ahead and come back up, bringing your torso up in one piece, and then you can heel toe your feet together, coming back into your mountain pose. And they don't have to be completely together. You can keep them hips distance apart too. It's going to depend on what feels good in your body, so listen to what feels good to you. Take just a couple breaths here, just regrounding, because we're going to get into some balancing here in just a moment. On your next exhale, just sigh it out like that, just let it go. All right, so now we're going to get into some balancing. So go ahead and shift your weight to your left foot, but don't dump your weight on the left side to where your hip ends up shooting out. You want to stay nice and grounded and strong in that left foot. And then from here, just bring your right toes, lift your right heel up, keep your left toes on the mat. If that feels good and you'd like a little more, go ahead and lift that right knee up, coming into a one-legged mountain pose, so one-legged Tadasana. It helps to balance if you look at one unmoving point in front of you. We'll take one more breath here. And then from here, we're going to move into a tree pose. Now here you have some options. So if you're a little unsteady today, you can bring your big toes on, onto the mat, and then bring your foot to kind of the inner ankle of your left foot. So you could come here, you could slide your foot up to your calf, and come here for kind of a medium or a moderate, or you can bring that foot up to the inner left thigh. Woo! Getting my balance. So you have options. So go to where it feels good to you today. Coming into our tree pose. Your hands can be on your hips. They can be palm center, or if you'd like a little bit of a challenge, you can grow your branches. Just make sure to keep breathing here. One more breath. And on an exhale, let's let it all go. Coming back into that mountain pose. And then just breathing. Compare your two sides, see how you feel. And it's okay if you fell down. If you fell down, that's perfectly fine. Just come back into it. Every day is different. It's a practice. You guys saw me wobbling all around, so it's okay. All right, we're gonna go ahead and shift our weight to our right side. So again, make sure you're not pushing your hip out, so you should be nice and grounded here. Then to start, we're going to lift our left heel up. Take a breath. And if you'd like a little more, you can lift your toes off the ground coming into that one-legged Tadasana. Breathing. From here, you can move into your tree pose. So again, you can have your foot not as high up as mine is. It could be on the calf or on the ankle with the toes on the ground. Just make sure that you're not pressing your foot onto your knee. So you want it either above or below your knee. From here, your hands can be at your waist, heart center, or you can grow your branches. And breathe. And again, if you fall out of it, don't beat yourself up. It is a practice. If you sway, then sway, because trees sway in the wind. It's okay. On your next exhale, we're going to go ahead and lower everything back down, coming back into our mountain pose. So really ground, feel stable. And again, compare both sides. You feel a nice flush of energy through your body. All right, from here, we're going to widen our feet. And we're going to move some more energy around. So it's going to look kind of funny. Just bear with me. It's a move I haven't done for a little while, but it's called knocking on heaven's door. So to do that, you're going to swing your arms to one side and then the other, coming up on the ball joint of your toe, lifting your heels. Your hands can swing around to smack your booty. You can go as slow as you'd like or as fast as you like. Make sure to keep breathing as you just move back and forth. Again, this is just breaking up more energy, moving it through the body. This move is also used in Qigong and other healing modalities for exactly the same reason as we're using it today, just to break up any old stagnant energy and to move it through the body so that way we can release it and let go of it. Take a few more breaths here. You can smile, have fun with it. I know it looks silly. Just getting some movement in today. And then when you're ready, go ahead and start to slow it down. Moving slower and slower until you come to stillness. And once you're in stillness, we're going to bring our feet in a little bit more together, coming back into our mountain pose. And just breathe. See how your body feels now that we went from a lot of movement to just stillness. Alright, when you are ready, we are going to transition onto our backs. So go ahead and I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. Let's do one last bell and actually, let's do it this way. I'm trying to think of the best way to get down to the floor, but we will get back down to the floor. All right, we'll take one more big inhale. Lift your arms up over your head. Exhale, one last forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway flat back. Exhale, let it go. And then from here, really generously bend the knees, bringing your belly onto the top of your thighs. Keep bending through your knees. Lift the heels up off the floor. And then from here, you can walk your arms behind you and come back to have a seat. Now, once you get here, we're going to go ahead and lay all the way flat on our backs. Keep your feet on the floor. Bring your feet as wide as the mat, and then we're going to bring our knees in. You can rest your hands on your belly or keep them out to the side, and we're just going to breathe for a few moments. So we're going to start to slow everything down. Really focus on your breath. Perhaps taking note of how the air feels as it enters your nose, the coolness. And then as you exhale, noticing the warmth of your breath, either through your mouth or back through your nose. Alright, now don't get too relaxed because we're not going into Shavasana just yet. From here, go ahead and bring your knees back to hips distance apart. And then we're going to bring our knees into our chest. You can give yourself a hug if you'd like. And then when you're ready, we're going to go ahead and extend through our left foot, bringing our right knee into our chest. And on an exhale, we're going to bring that right knee across the left side. You can place your right foot on your left thigh. Bring your right arm out to a T. And then we're coming into a little twist. Make sure that your right shoulder is still touching the floor. If you'd like, you can look over past your right arm for more of a twist. Now your left hand doesn't have to be on top of that right thigh or knee. It can be out. So your arms can be both out in a Texas T if you'd like. And from here, just breathe, stretching out our lower back a little bit. After your next exhale, go ahead and return back to center. Let's go ahead and bring both feet to the floor. And when you're ready, we're going to hug our knees in one more time. And just breathe. Now you can roll your head up to your knees if you'd like, coming into a little ball if that feels good. Or you can keep your head on the ground too. Whatever feels good to you, go ahead and do that. Alright, when you're ready, we're going to extend our right leg out, bringing our left knee into our chest. Inhale. And on an exhale, we're going to cross the midline with that left knee, bringing it across. Left arm reaching out in that Texas T, and you can turn to look at your left fingers. Again, make sure your left shoulder blade is still on the floor. And breathe. We'll go ahead and take one more breath here. And on an exhale, go ahead and return back to center, both feet on the floor with your knees bent. All right, from here, we're gonna work our booties a little bit. So you can either have a block or you don't necessarily have to have one. But make sure that your hips are, your legs, your feet, knees, I cannot talk. Your legs should be hip distance apart. We're going to really push into our feet. So take an inhale. And on an exhale, push in through the feet, and we're going to slowly raise the booty up, coming into a bridge pose. Now, if this doesn't feel accessible to you today, you can also bring a block underneath your sacrum, and you can come into this more restorative and supported bridge pose. Otherwise, make sure that you are lifting your booty up. You should be pressing your knees forward. And if you feel any crunchiness in your lower back, lower down a little bit. Make sure to keep breathing here. Just getting a little bit of glute work in. One more inhale, squeeze. And exhale, slowly lower all the way back down to your mat. Take a nice big inhale here. And on an exhale, bring the soles of your feet together and butterfly your knees out. So we're coming into a reclined cobbler's pose. If your knees feel uncomfortable, this is another place where you can use blocks or a blanket, and you can bring it up under your knees to bring the floor up to you. But again, do what feels good in your body today. And breathe. Your hands can be on the belly or on the floor. Just stretching out through our hips and inner thighs a little bit. We'll take one more inhale here. And on an exhale, you can use your hands on the outsides of your thighs to slowly bring everything back up to center and hips distance apart. Right, from here, we'll go ahead and roll over to whatever side you'd like. And when you're ready, just push yourself up. So we're going to come to a seated position. Let's start out, bring your feet on the mat, knees bent, and bring your hands underneath your thighs. So inhale, sit up nice and straight, and exhale, just let it go. Now if you'd like, you can reach down and grab the bottoms of your feet. And you can inhale, come up nice and straight and tall, and then exhale, kind of round forward, bringing your head to your knees. Take a couple breaths here. And then if you'd like, you can start to straighten through your feet and through your legs, coming into more of a forward fold. Now, you can keep your knees bent and stay here if that feels better to you. Otherwise, if you're going to straighten through your knees, make sure your back is still nice and straight, and you can look forward and then bend. You want to make sure that you're not rounding through your back, though, excessively and just collapsing. You want to make sure to keep integrity through your spine. So you can look forward and then lower down. And your head may not come to your knees, and that's okay. Just go to where it feels comfortable to you. This is another place where if you have like a bolster or something, let me grab my bolster here to get all my crap out of the way. You can bring your bolster here and you can fold forward and just kind of rest on that too. Should feel a nice stretch in your hamstrings though. Take one more inhale. And on an exhale, let's go ahead and slowly roll back up. All right, let me get rid of this guy here. Got stuff everywhere again. All right, we're gonna go into another twist. Oops. Let me move this so you can actually see me. All right, so go ahead and bend your right knee. We're going to take our left arm and we're going to just kind of hug around the outside of it, and then take your right knee behind you. So inhale, sit up nice and straight and tall, and on your exhale, turn towards the right side of your mat and breathe. One more twist to round it out. One more inhale. And on the exhale, go ahead and straighten through that right knee and return back to center. Take just a couple breaths here. Compare both sides. See how you feel. Alright, then when you're ready, go ahead and bend through that left knee, bringing it up. We're going to hook our right arm around that left knee. Swim our left hand behind us. Inhale, sit up nice and straight and tall. Exhale, go ahead and twist towards the left. And breathe. You might also get a stretch through your upper back body. That's where I'm kind of feeling it. We'll take one more inhale here. And on an exhale, we're going to go ahead and let it go, returning back to center. And then just sit up nice and straight and tall, coming into kind of a staff pose, and then take a couple breaths here just to see how you feel. All right, we're going to do one more kind of fun pose before we get into Shavasana. So I'm actually going to turn onto the long edge of my mat so you can see me. And then from here, I am going to just take my right leg. So I'm kind of I'm starting out in a cross-legged position. So just start out in a cross-legged position. From here, you can take your right leg or whichever leg is on top, and then kind of walk the whichever bottom leg is underneath, and then you can bring your top leg up towards the top. So your knees should be stacked on top of each other with your feet out, and then you can sit up nice and straight and tall and hold on to your feet. Now, if this does not feel accessible to you, then the other thing you can do is just bend your bottom knee. You can take your top knee and then just have it up. And then you can just sit up. But go to where it feels comfortable to you. These are called cow legs. See cow legs maybe? I think not going to pronounce it right, but it's like Gu Gong Kasana or something. But it's a nice little hip opener for this right side. So take just a couple breaths here. Alright, so we're going to spin around. We're going to do kind of a fun little move here. So wherever you're at, go ahead and walk your hands forward, and then start to walk your hands over to the left side if your right foot's on top. So walk towards the side that your top foot is at. And then we're going to kind of just spin around. So come up onto that right knee. We're going to come through and just spin around and whoop. Now my left knee is on top. So you can watch me do that and then try it out. See how that works. But we want both sides to be even. We want that nice stretch. Again, make any adjustments you need for your body. Alright, then when you're ready, let's go ahead and unwind. You can shift back towards the long edge of your mat. Grab any props that you would like, and when you're ready, go ahead and lower all the way onto your back, coming into our final posture, Shavasana. So if it's cold where you're at, grab a blanket to cover up with. You can have a bolster to place underneath your thighs, or maybe a pillow for your head, or an eye mask, just anything that's going to help you relax. Make sure your feet are as wide as your mat, and let your toes just turn out and relax. Your arms can be out at a 45-degree angle, palms facing up or down, or the short, or your pinkies on the short edge, your pinkies down on the floor. Or you can place your hands on your belly, maybe a hand on the belly and the heart. Just, again, do whatever feels right to you. This is your time to relax. And once you are in your comfortable position, go ahead and close down the eyes. Focus on your breath. Feel the nutrients of your practice just kind of marinate through your body. Now I'm going to go quiet for a little bit and let you relax in Shavasana for just a few moments. And I'll cue you when it's time to arise. The card I pulled for practice today was Spider Spirit. Make your dreams real. And the message is, weaving your dreams into the fabric of life begins with a single thread of intention. And then Spirit joins you as your co-weaving partner. Take but a single step to make your dream a reality, and Spirit will take 10 towards you. For the universe is designed to support your dream weaving. Spider Spirit arrives when you need reminding of the awesome power of co-creation with Spirit. Ideas and resources will begin to appear as if by magic as you begin to bring your dreams from the realm of intention into the world of the senses where they take form. The action you need to take is to be clear about your intentions and then act as if you have become the one that lives the life you desire. The web of creation has an uncanny way of coming together to weave the beautiful pattern you set in motion. Another message of Spider Spirit is about any creative project you may be considering: writing, painting, music, journaling, gardening. Now is the time when inspiration wants to be channeled through you as something creative, even artistic and tangible. Creative projects are successful now, if you are so inclined. Let yourself be open to abundance. If you'd like to stay in Shavasana, feel free to stay as long as time allows. Otherwise, if you're ready to get going, slowly start to deepen your breathing. Wiggle fingers and toes, bringing life back into them. And when you're ready, go ahead and roll to your favorite side, coming into a fetal position. And just hold there for a moment and breathe. When you're ready, slowly push yourself up into a comfortable seat, bringing the head and neck up last. And when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes. So thank you so much for spending your time and your practice and your energy with me today, and with Fritz over here and Sam. I hope everyone has a wonderful Thanksgiving if you're practicing in this in real time, or just a great holiday season, or a good rest of your week or week. Whenever you're practicing it, have a good rest of the whatever. If you like this video, please make sure to like and subscribe to it. Please share my channel. That helps me to grow it so I can continue to practice with you guys. But I do appreciate it, and since this is our Thanksgiving practice, I'm very grateful to you for being here and practicing with me, and just for being in my community. So thank you very much. Have a blessed Thanksgiving. Namaste.